What's going on, guys? Welcome to Just Geeking Out. We're talking geek. I'm Lawrence St. Victor. Got my cousin Christopher St. Victor right here, and we're gonna talk all things geeky, or just the things we feel like talking about.
That's that's all right with me. This is our world. You guys are just living in it.
There we go. There we go. It's not. It hasn't been a huge news week, so we're gonna go over a couple items, but.
Mhm.
Not a whole lot of stuff. We're gearing up to the summer of.
We're gearing up for Superman. We're gearing up for Fantastic Four.
We're
Gearing
gonna
up
get
for
into all
Boys
that stuff.
finale. There's a lot. There's a
The
lot good content
boys finna.
coming.
Okay, we're gonna get into all that stuff. But first, how was your week?
Good man, just working. I have pneumonia. I'm getting over pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
Yeah, walking
Oh
pneumonia, which
man.
sucks.
Oh man.
So yeah, but I'm good. Otherwise, can't complain.
Okay.
Let
Did
me
you?
show you what I'm building.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm doing a resculpt on this head, but I'm building the Superman from the animated series.
Is he black?
What do you think?
Or is he just really tan?
Nah, he's black. So what I'm actually resculpting the head. So I'm redoing the hair. I'm actually gonna give him a Caesar. So that should be cool.
Oh shoot.
I'm working on that now. And my
That's really cool.
yeah, because I'm trying to. So what I would do is you guys. I don't know if you've seen on this show, but other show I showed like I'll take characters that are legacy Caucasian characters like my Blambo, my Black Punisher, and
Oh,
I'll
the world will love that. They love when we do stuff like that.
oh they love it. That yes they love it. So what I would do is I would just print them in the color that's closest to my complexion. But now since I'm getting better, I'm gonna start sculpting them and kind of changing the hairstyle, changing the features a little bit.
Yeah.
Giving them stuff that us color folk have.
Every now and then.
Yep,
Oh, are you making a black Robin?
I am. I am. It may
I
or may not
love this.
change. Yeah, and then here's the legs.
Yo.
Yep.
For y'all that don't know, we had a channel a little while ago called Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk, and that's where Chris first started showing his 3D printing and the evolution from the bronze Ninja Turtle
Yes, right.
to now you're just straight up making animated figures that look as clean as the ones in stores. Kind of nuts.
Well, you know what it is you can see the printer behind. That's the bamboo printer, and that's a multicolor printer. And that multicolor printer is a game changer. Where my
Mhm.
painting was getting okay, but once I started printing multicolor, like I'll show you this Goku real quick. Um, it really changes the game.
I mean, because that's the thing that
Look at the detail in the boots. Like it just changes the game.
I can always tell when like customizers are painting by hand, unless they're really really great, because
Right.
it never looks like off the shelf.
Right.
But what you're doing looks like it's off the shelf.
Yeah, because you actually paint it in the driver. So once you set it up in your slicer, you actually get in there and you're changing the colors of the sections inside the driver. So you're telling the printer, you're telling the computer like this needs to be printed this filament, this needs to be printed that filament, and it comes out. If you do it right and get into detail, it comes out pretty clean.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's cool.
That's crazy. I'm gonna give you some commissions. Now that you get into DC, yeah, we're gonna have to do some stuff.
I got Batman in the slicer ready to go.
A black Batman. Is he still beating up poor folk in Gotham City?
Probably.
Probably.
To be fair, probably.
Fair. Well, I did buy some. I bought a bunch of stuff.
What'd you get?
Well, I got a lot of comics, man. Comics that have been out that I want to catch up on. Now, I do prefer, what do you call them? The trades, the graphic novels.
You and me both.
But I do enjoy like reading weekly issues, like having something to look forward to.
So I enjoy having the actual comic. I enjoy the act of collecting. I enjoy the comics itself. But when it comes to reading it, sometimes because I like to read. I don't read every day, so I'll
Right.
binge it. So if I binge it, I want the entire story arc.
I just don't want to wait like 8 months.
Right, right, right.
You know, because I bought that first issue of Absolute Batman, and I'm like, I don't want to wait 8 months or 6 months for the trade to come out.
Stop, Robbie.
So this is one of the books that I am collecting, and it's I'm catching up to where you got issue
I have that.
9, right? So
Yeah, I got.
I basically caught up to you. I bought 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9
And
right
9 is
here.
when the new story arc starts. That's when that's a new story arc, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it says right here, new story starts here. But it looks like there's another story arc because it looks like we get into their version of Mister Freeze
So you know what's a
right
good.
here.
You know what I like that I kind of wish that DC did. Marvel Comics, you can get if you buy the comic, you can get it digitally for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not with all titles, but some titles you can. And I wish DC did that because I'm going on vacation next week, and I want to start reading the Absolute Batman. And I wish I would just. I'd rather.
Oh, you about to put freaking comic stores out of business, Chris?
Nope,
Don't listen.
nope, nope. Stan Lee had a famous quote: "Comics are like boobs. It's not the same. It's better to have one real in your hand than versus seeing one on the computer."
Yeah. Yeah.
Drink to that.
Drink to that. I copped this last week, Superman
That's dope.
Unlimited. So I got number 2. But I
Nice.
love this, of
I love that
course,
cover. Yeah.
this David Corn sweat.
I think I have a variant cover of that one.
This is what is this the this a lot of these all ins are coming with
It's 5 or 6
so many a
covers.
lot of different and not all the same price, mind
No,
you.
no,
It's crazy though, man. Like comic books are legit $4.99, $5.99 now.
no. Let me grab mine right. I have mine right here. Let me see what. This is my haul from 2 weeks ago. I think I have that Superman that you're talking about. I want to see which comic, which variant I got.
It's number 1,
Yeah.
Superman Unlimited. And I also I don't have to show. I also got the Action Comics where they kind of like going back to Superman's youth and kind of reestablishing his journey as Superboy, sort of, which is really fun. You get boards too. You get bags and boards.
Action boards with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never do anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm
Don't
gonna
I?
buy them in bulk online. You know what? I do not think I bought that Superman Unlimited.
Number
Oh wait, this
one.
is it.
Okay, let me see.
Let me see which one this is.
It could be. There's a lot of different
I think
covers.
this is it. Yeah, I believe this is it.
How much was that one?
I don't know. I think I got this one.
Well, yours because you're such a sucker for a foil cover.
What?
That
This
could
is
have been anything.
the Superman for all seasons.
Is that for all seasons or is
Yeah,
that just the cover? Oh,
that's for
okay.
all seasons. Superman for all seasons.
Now I have the trade of that, which is
I
amazing.
am a sucker for a foil. Come on, man. I'm a '90s kid. That's how we
You
were raised
are
in
just
comics.
a foil or throw some hologram on there and you're done.
You see that one?
Yo, um, this is happening. They
Yeah,
teamed up.
this is recent.
I
Turtles.
feel like I know the turtles are like ninjas, but I feel like they're out of their league when it comes
Yeah,
to
I mean,
Eternia and fighting Skeletor.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah, so I know I do not have that one.
Okay,
I thought I did buy it, but I'm going to buy it now.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Well,
definitely.
I think there's definitely a bunch of covers to choose from. Um, but what's really cool is because the movie's coming out, they're dropping all these things in trade just to like catch you up
Yeah,
with like the tone of the movie. So All Star Superman, Superman for all seasons, and then DC, throwing out this new stuff. And it's like literally, and I hate to come at the snot. I know I go at the Snyder Boys every episode, and
dude.
I'm gonna going because like DC is telling you this is what Superman is. He is a romantic science fiction fantasy superhero. This is what he is. Some issues are a little bit more grounded, some issues are more sci fi, but he is a Boy Scout, earnest person. Not to say he don't get angry and won't punch somebody square in the face, but this is who he is. And I feel like the Snyder bots really are looking at Man of Steel as the
That's
definitive.
That's
Well,
different.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like as children, Chris, we knew that Michael Keaton's Batman wasn't canon. Like we knew that when we opened up a comic book, we didn't expect that that Joker was the killer of his parents.
Did we care though? Like you know what? Too, we were as Jaden. We were just felt so lucky to get that content
Yeah,
that it doesn't matter if it was perfect or not. It doesn't matter if it followed everything. It just
we can accept that this is different than that, and that is different than this, and Batman the animated series is different than like we just accepted that these are different versions.
so in '89. Where did the nerds? Who did the nerds complain to? Were they just sitting around a table in the comic book store?
No, they freaking well that and they I think they were writing newsletters because they didn't want Michael Keaton to be Batman, so they
Uh,
were writing into their local newspapers or whatever.
wow, wow, that
That's
is
how
old,
far back it goes, dude.
old school trolling. I'm so
Yeah,
happy. I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter
to my newspaper, and they did because they hated that fact that Mister Mom was Batman until they saw the first trailer. Then
until
they
my
all shut up, and it's the same thing with Heath Ledger, same thing with Ben Affleck, and it'll be the same thing with David Cornsweet and
remember
Pedro Pascal.
remember the anger for Ben Affleck,
As if like he's not the prototype.
as if he doesn't have the squarish jaw in all of Hollywood.
Like you would have thought they were casting, may he rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman to play Batman.
Yeah,
Like Ben
yeah.
Affleck fit, and Daredevil wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't. When you look at those '90s movies back then, it wasn't X-Men or Spider-Man, but it wasn't Fantastic Four or Ghost Rider.
No. Whoa. First Ghost Rider was okay.
Whatever.
It was okay.
Whatever.
It was Cage and his Cage.
We just talking about this week and stuff that we picked up, etc., so forth and so on. What's going? I always say it backwards. So on and so forth. I showed some comics. I have some toys over here,
Let
Chris.
me see the toys. That's what I want to see.
Now this came in. I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is.
that's how you know you got a problem, Lawrence. That's all right.
Well,
I share the same affliction. Don't worry.
because I'll pre-order stuff or buy things from like overseas,
And
and then
forget.
you just no. I don't forget. I'm not you, Chris. I just don't know when they're gonna come in. You know. Was it really, Lawrence? A James Gunn Superman shirt? What makes this even funnier is I'm wearing my hand. Dude, honestly, okay, we gotta get. Listen, and then I got a Henry Cavill one too. So we're all gonna get on. Okay, I'm gonna talk. I was gonna talk to you about this off camera, Chris. I'll put you on the spot. We need to get on. Do you still hear me? Okay. We need to get on with etc. I think I'm gonna reach out to Jack too, and we're gonna
Yep.
talk. I want to do an episode where we talk about what goes into making a live action Superman. Etc. And I have different opinions. We're both Superman fans. I think Jack will be fun to have on there. We need you to be a moderator.
I'll be there.
We need the bat. So I'm thinking maybe sometime next. I want it to happen before the movie comes out
Okay.
because
Well, next week I'll be in Mexico, so I'm out for next week. But
sometime before July 11th.
that's fine. I'll be back.
Okay. Because he loves Man of Steel. I don't hate Man of Steel, but it's not we were talking about it. It's not the definitive version for me.
Right.
He believes Superman should be kind of stoic and good. I believe Clark's a guy from Smallville doing the best he can to live up to what the symbol now epitomizes. By the end of the day, he's still a regular guy from Kansas. So we have different opinions, but they're not wrong. So it'll be really fun to hash it out.
I'm down.
And he's making fun of me for wearing this because he's wearing his Cavill shirt because that sums up our relationship.
Right.
Let's get this open. Okay, yeah, because I buy things. There were these figures. I think I know what it is. I think it's from this Australian store because
Wait, which one? I just picked up an Australian store. What was the name of the one you found? I just found a new one.
What's the name of your store?
Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
I can't. I have so many sites.
Yeah, no, I can't find. I'm trying to.
Well, For those of you watching, be patient because I'm about to put you onto a brand new store. Because for those of you who feel my toy hunting pain, a part of me hates the fact that McFarlane is losing the license.
Yeah. Oh, pop culture. Yes,
Yes.
that's where I got my build. My,
Hold on. Let me just double check. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's where I just bought these figures.
yeah.
Okay.
I just ordered from them.
Yo, so everybody, Pop Culture HQ or Pop Culture, just POPCULTCHA.
Yeah.
It's a Australian toy store. Basically, they have figures for pretty close to retail, and the shipping's not too bad either.
Let me
Um,
got it open right now. Let me share it real quick while you open it up. This
and
is over here. I just copped the Phantasm, the ones I needed for the builder figure, but it seems pretty cool, and the prices were pretty decent.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're not over. They're pretty close to any online retailer outside of the brick and mortar stores. But basically, uh, I was mad that McFarlane was going to lose the license, but a part of me is happy because I hope that Mattel makes it easier to find figures.
That's true.
Because I got to tell you, Chris, like we don't have McFarlane figures in the WalMarts like that
Yeah,
where I
you
live.
know what? Ever since the tariff thing came up, I feel like Walmart and Target. I don't know if they pulled back because they were afraid or what happened, but I saw a drastic drop. I'm starting to see figures start slowly to come back, but we went through a figure drought over here in Texas for a while.
But dude, but before the tariffs, it still kind of sucked. It just wasn't great. So, oh my bad, etc. You said guilty pleasure though. I picked up. So what I love about this is that you don't have high hopes for this film, but you have completed the entire
Hey, you
wave.
got to. He's a fan.
You got
Metamorpho is
to.
everywhere over here,
Now
except
that is sitting.
sitting on
So,
shelves.
now, if this is what I think it is, this isn't sitting. If this is what I think it is, a box in a box. Okay, for everybody who wants to order, they do pack their stuff up pretty nicely.
Good,
If this is pop culture, I'm still not 100% sure.
good. I feel better. Actually,
Oh, it's not.
it's not. What is it?
It's not. Whoa. I didn't think this was coming in yet. Whoa, this is not pop culture, everybody. This is Chris.
Let me see. Let me make you big. Hold on.
Chris. Ooh, make me big, baby.
Ooh, baby.
Pause. Pause. Whoa. Oh, wow. Okay, guys. It is not pop culture. It is something else entirely. I pre ordered this months ago. I thought it was going to arrive further in July, but I guess not. I'm trying to open the box carefully because I don't actually want to slice into the real box.
That's probably a good idea.
But
Let
Chris,
me see. Let me see.
okay, Inart dropped
Oh shoot.
the Batman figure. This is the Dark Knight figure from Inart Toys, and I gotta tell you, I wish I can show it to you. I'm gonna do a legitimate unboxing of this.
Okay.
But it's a 6-inch Dark Knight figure that the quality is so good the suit looks like cloth goods. That's how good the quality is here.
And
And
this
the
is Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Dark Knight Rises.
So I'm gonna find the graphics for it now when you talk about it.
And the Christian Bale head sculpt on this is cray cray. I wish I can open it up here, but this needs to be an unboxing for real, where I take my time. This was packaged really freaking well, man. A box in a box. Yeah, make that bigger. Make that bigger. Dude.
Hold on, let's try to catch up. But this thing looks crazy.
Bro. And I got the deluxe. So he comes with also that gun that he has that shorts out all the electrical currents. But on look at that head sculpt,
Yo, it looks like a mask on a face.
bro. Like honestly, it might be one of the best 6-inch figures ever made.
There's the gun.
Ever made. He comes with two. One's like the gun that is like makes the sticky bombs, and then one is like the what's that thing that can short take out
Oh, like
you know
the
EM I forget.
EMP, electromagnetic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look at that cape.
bro. Best 6-inch figure ever made. I don't even love the Dark Knight suit as much, but this is a work of art. Look at that. And I've watched unboxings because like they send it to every big toy reviewer early. This isn't the lighting, bro. It actually looks that good.
That is dope.
Being on the lookout for my unbox. Look at that. It's sculpted so well. It looks like that's cloth
You don't even
goods,
see the joints.
dude. Dude.
I'm gonna be able. So it is there rubber over the joint?
No, bro, that is all plastic. That's how great the paint and the sculpting is.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's a dope pose.
And I ordered mine from because here's the thing: they're not being sold to any American toy stores
Okay.
online anyway. So I got mine from bombusby .com. But there's a bunch of other import sites you can buy from Toys Metaverse, Bombusby. But hold on. I just sent you a link on Instagram for the 1989 Batman figures getting released this fall. Spin Master?
Or McFarlane. Hold on, let's see. I got it. Hold on. Oh, Mezco. Give me 2 seconds,
Oh.
and then I will pull it up.
Mez. You don't do Mezco.
You know what? I don't do a lot. No, but it's true. Like I don't do like
Well, they're expensive. All
yeah,
these figures are very expensive.
yeah. I just don't do a lot of stuff outside of the McFarlane or the GI Joes or lately my focus has been my focus really has really been like retro. Oh, sorry, dog. Has been
Um,
has been retro figures. Hold up, let's go. 1989 Batman.
oh,
I
are
got.
these are the smaller ones? Are these the smaller ones?
I don't know. No,
It,
it looks
ha-
like
it has. Wait,
yeah, it looks like here it is.
yeah,
Oh, that looks dope.
that looks really good though.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's throwing it back. Wait, that's not it. Is that what he sent you?
This is that the Mexico one? Nope.
That's not what I. No, no, that looks like Beast Kingdom.
Hold on, let me get back. I'm trying to see.
This is what he
Oh,
sent. This
yeah, I'm trying to get from. I got
it's like Toy Biz inspired. That's fire because it looks Toy Biz inspired. Yeah. Oh, Chris, yeah, you got to pull this up.
hold on. Give me
I'll
one.
send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link. Text it to me.
Yeah.
I gotta grab the text through.
Etc. This looks really good. I'm probably gonna pass on this just because I don't need it and I have issues with space. But Chris, this is definitely up your alley. It's expensive, but I think it's $110 for the entire set.
That's not too bad.
Check
Is
it
it?
out.
I'm pulling it up right now. What's it come on? Here we go.
Why are you pulling that up? I bought the Mayfix Daredevil.
Oh, you did?
For those of you watching, I've been eyeing that Mayfix Daredevil forever, and it's super overpriced right now. But this is what I did, Chris.
Guy.
Amazon kept saying that I might be pre-qualified for a credit card. So I said, fine, I'll do it. There's no annual fee. But when I did it, they gave me an $80 gift card.
There you go.
I said, oh, that's easy.
That's easy.
So I really get the figure really cost $70.
There you go.
Don't tell my wife I have a new credit card.
Don't worry.
Uh,
Yo,
yo, I mean, look, this is like Toy Biz inspired.
it is Toy Biz inspired, even down to the panel. That's awesome.
Chris,
I'm gonna
I
have to
feel like you're gonna have to do this.
Man, I think I'm gonna have to.
And I don't think we've had,
2 figures in the Batmobile.
but and not just two figures. Bob the Goon. Like we never get Bob.
You never get Bob.
We never get Bob.
So wait, it's $110 for everything?
The entire set, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll do that.
Where,
And it has the
shell that goes over it.
That's cool.
That's pretty. You get in a lot for this.
Yeah, I might have.
And these are probably 3-inch figures. It looks like too,
right.
so they're not going to take up space. Freaking Bob! Oh, you can change his head.
The other dude that with the
yeah. Wait,
dude.
go to Batman. What accessories does he come with?
Hold on 1 second. Let me go back to Batman.
Okay. So he not. This is fun.
This is
fun.
cool.
It's fun. Is your dog in there?
Yeah.
Because
Bash, you can get her out, please, and close the door. Thank you. No, it doesn't help. Yeah. Cool, bud. Okay, thank you, buddy. That's cool.
it. You might have to get that.
I think I'm gonna have to.
You might have to get that. All right, man. Let's talk some news.
Let's go.
So the director of Dune, bro. Yeah, these are pretty epic. I mean,
that's not bad, etc. I might get
bad.
But here's the thing. Look, I'm an opener, right?
Yes.
So for the record, we've known etc. for, he's been friends with the shows for years, for like 2 years. Right? Etc. is the kind of guy, he likes to keep his stuff in box, and if he doesn't, he'll buy 2. I'm an opener.
Yeah, etc. How are you gonna work this one? Are you gonna open this, or are you gonna buy 2?
Right, but here's my thing. With this kind of packaging that makes it look like the old style one, is it? I don't know, man.
If it's in a box and they're all in there, and there's no window, that kind of sucks as an inbox collector.
Right.
But if they send it to you where like they're individually packaged,
yeah,
then that'd be with the then yeah.
Each figure is individually packaged in a retro style blister card, perfect for display.
Oh, then yeah, he don't got to open up nothing.
No, but do I open it up?
He's buying 2 sets. If they got the freaking blister package, you may not need to buy 2 because you'll be able to see the figure. You probably won't be able to see the Batmobile though.
I need to touch it. I need to play with it. I need to.
Yeah.
Pose it.
If they eventually sell like a single Batman, they're never going to sell a single Batman. It's probably always going to be a set.
Yeah.
But I would say if they were ever going to, just buy another Batman but no, it's going to be a set. No, Chris, you don't buy 2, but you open them so you can save the blister card.
Yeah.
Just don't go crazy. Don't be ripping it open like a kid on Christmas.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
Etc. gonna drop $220 plus shipping and tax.
Come on, man. Etc. He's a real one out here.
He's a real one. We ain't real. I'm not real because you know what? I'm opening this up.
Yep.
I'm gonna be all over it.
You know what? I have to. I like
playing on my toys.
But
I will say, because I got this, I bought 2 of these, and they're cheap. They're nothing like this, but I had to buy 1 because that is just too iconic.
I agree with that, and that's what I'm talking about. Those blister packs that actually the art actually adds value. It's like, you know what?
Yeah, but that was like $7.
Yeah,
this
It's,
a
it's
little bit
so
more.
different.
So the director of Dune has been tapped to direct the new Bond films for Amazon. Amazon, I think, acquired the rights or whatever, and they're getting to do the director of the Dune films. And they're saying they want their Bond to be under 30 years old. So
Okay.
basically, Henry Cavill, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kick Ass, they're out because they're over 30. So it looks like Jacob Elordi from Euphoria.
Oh,
You, can you pull up his picture for me,
yeah,
please?
I know exactly who he is.
Jacob Elordi is, rumors that he's in talks.
He's
As
Australian.
that's the biggest controversy for a lot of Bond fans is that he's not European. Because even like Sean Connery was Scottish, but he's still European.
I mean, he got the look
Um,
though.
he's got the acting chops, but he's Australian. Another one is type in Harrison Dickinson. He's up for it. I think he's playing John Lennon
Mm,
in the Beatles film, but
Jacob Elordi
he's a good actor.
is more Bondy to me. But they said the same thing about Daniel Craig, and Daniel Craig was
I mean, Daniel Craig didn't look Bondy until he showed up in Bond.
right. I gotta see this. This is a picture of him in a suit.
And the last one, the biggest star, Tom Holland, is being looked at.
I mean,
I don't like it, not because I don't think he's going to be brilliant. He's actually a really good actor. I think he's a better actor than people think he is. But these roles to me always work better when it's someone who isn't a movie star, super famous.
mm, yeah, it's
You
tough.
know,
It's tough to differentiate him as Spider Man.
yeah, he's too well known. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Is it
Yeah.
just me? I think with Henry Cavill it works.
Well, because Henry Cavill did the Man from Uncle. He did a bunch of stuff already. That's like,
Well, he's also in our mind when we see him in interviews. He's like already Bond.
yeah,
It's almost like
yeah.
you don't have to make me think you're James Bond. You work harder to make me think you're not.
Right. That's true. That's a good point. Good
He's
point.
already Bond.
That's a good point.
Whereas Tom Holland, you kind of still see 15-year-old Peter Parker.
True.
It'd be harder to. It might be harder for us to justify him saying "shaken, not stirred." It's like go to
Yeah, yeah.
class,
Go.
Parker.
We shaking us. We drinking Coke. You shaking
But
Coke?
that's only because he's so brilliant. Like it's hard to separate that. And also, he's played Spider Man. He's had more hours as Spider Man than Cavill has had as Superman.
True.
If you look at like how long they've been in the suits, but that's pretty interesting though. We got some good news on the Batman front.
I heard.
They finally finished that freaking script.
Finally, now we have to get it made.
Which now I don't even know how that works now because it's been pushed back so far. You have to. I'm sure Pattinson's available. Maybe he's not. Maybe we got to wait for him to finish shooting whatever he's shooting. Like my issue now is he still going to be? Is this going to be Batman year 3? Which I was hoping. I don't want to see. I don't want to see a 40-year-old Batman right now because
Yeah.
like the what was charming about his franchise is that it's Batman in his younger years,
Yeah.
not year 1. We don't need the origin, but he's still figuring it out. By this point, Pattinson's going to be like older than Christian Bale was in The Dark Knight Rises by the time we start shooting the Batman 2.
And Bale was all broken up in that. Remember when they?
Made no freaking sense. That movie made no sense. I have issues with Dark Knight Rises. But yeah, he was all broken up. So I'm down to suspend my disbelief and because Pattinson looks young, but I feel like the way the Penguin got us so hyped, now we got to wait probably another 2 years.
I know.
Another 2 years. 2027, they said, right? Golly.
Yeah.
By that point, the DCU's Batman might be on screen.
It will be the completely different environment at that point.
Dude.
I don't know. We have no idea where the DC universe is going to be, but I'm curious. So
a fan.
There's room for this Batman.
What's it just an Elseworlds? I just hope it stays relevant.
Yeah.
A fan on Reddit said something really awesome, that they hope that like Batman, because you saw him show up in Creature Commandos, the
Yep.
DCU Batman, and they said that they hope Batman makes tiny cameos like that in the next movies. Like you barely see him, just in the background, alluding to that he's there, seeing the silhouette of his suit, never revealing who he is, who's going to be cast as him. So we like we keep seeing Batman in glimpses or
That
Batman,
would be dope.
and then by the time we actually get Batman, it be all it's you know the anticipation be even crazier because we've established him without establishing him,
That
almost like this shadow.
that'd be dope.
At the end of the Superman film, Clark goes into his apartment and there's a note with a bat symbol on it. Like just like little things like that.
Remember in the animated series where they first met, and then Batman's watching Superman, and he takes the little bat thing off of him.
Yeah, something like how cool would that be? Just a little something, and then in Peacemaker, just a little something, just nothing big.
Just a
You
little.
don't even have to tell us who's playing them yet, but just a little something.
Yep,
That'd be fun.
that would be fun.
Yes, but we're getting the Batman too. But I'll tell you what we're not getting.
What?
So the creator of the X-Men 97 series went on Twitter to basically bash the MCU for not getting Blade together. And basically David Goyer, who wrote the Blade trilogy, reached out to them and said, "Listen, if you need help with the script, I'll help you." And they said, "Thanks, but no thanks." And the director of the X-Men 97 was like, they're up their own butts. Like,
Yeah,
obviously you don't have this together. Mahershala Ali was just on the red carpet
broke his
for
about it, right?
huh?
He broke his silence about it.
Well, he didn't really have much to say. He's on the red carpet, I think, for Jurassic Park
Yeah,
or
just
World.
yeah,
And he's like, I'm ready to do it. I just shot this other film that kind of got my action scratch going, but I'm here. Basically, like, no one knows anything. I'm surprised if Blade even happens, and I'd be really surprised if it doesn't. It's such low hanging fruit, man.
yeah.
He's a vampire hunter. There's vampires. Kill him.
Kill him. That's not
Like,
the combination is not that it writes itself.
it writes itself. Don't worry about needing to connect him to anybody else in the MCU. The path that he's on, he don't care about no burglars. He don't care about no Thanos. He don't care about no alien invasions. He's here for vampires.
Yep.
He's not here for nothing else. He'll see Daredevil getting beat up by ninjas and walk right past them. Because are they vampires?
Nope.
No. None of my business.
That's that superpower. That's that Negro superpower.
Ah, yes. He knows how to mind his business. I'm here for vampires. Are you a vampire? No.
Yep.
Ain't
They do
my
nothing to
business.
me. That's
They
it.
ain't do nothing to me. Man, in other news, do you still watch The Simpsons?
Yes, I know. I know. I know. And I refuse to watch this finale because
You haven't watched it.
uh-uh. Is this when they're finally jumping the shark?
Chris, I stopped watching The Simpsons probably 20 years ago.
So I fell off for a while, and then some of the they brought some back, and they brought back some of the original writers, and they kind of went back to kind of what made it great, and it started to get good again. And I've been reading about this, and I hope like
Have you been watching this current season consistently?
I not consistently, sporadically.
Are you not? Are you really not going to watch? You got to
No,
watch this
I
one.
don't have to do anything. Don't tell me how to.
Oh! Chris never gets saucy about content.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I'm hoping it's a Who Shot Mr. Burns situation where it's like a cliffhanger, and then they come back and
Well, they can't leave her dead.
Nah, they're not gonna leave it dead. They can't.
But like they killed Marge,
Yeah,
which is weird.
very weird.
Without like, listen, I haven't watched The Simpsons in a long time. I watched it a little bit recently. I was just watching some of the Halloween specials maybe months ago just for fun. But I got no skin in the game. But I feel like to kill off like the straight character, and she's the mom and the woman. Like she's always kind of been the straight person for Homer.
She grounds the family.
But maybe that's why you do kill her.
They did that in the Connors because
They-
Roseanne made comments about I don't know some like off the wall comments she made,
Mhm.
and they actually wrote her off the show and rebranded it the Connors. It was Roseanne,
Yeah.
and it lasted like 4 or 5 years after. And they just wrapped it up. I didn't watch it, but I know they just wrapped it up.
Yeah.
But The Simpsons is not a show where you have to do that. Like,
Well, they also it's a cartoon, right? So it's not like Simpsons is one of those shows where it's a cartoon, but we take it realistically. So like the characters haven't aged in over 30 years.
of course.
Maggie's still a baby,
Yep.
so they're supposed to kind of be immortal.
Right.
And whereas in Roseanne, we see them age. We know
Right.
they're older. Their
Right.
mortality is in our face, but I think I might check it out just to see how they handled it.
I
I'm
don't
very
know.
curious.
I mean, you know what? Once the new season drops, after the Treehouse of Horror, and they drop the new season begins, and she comes back, then I'll go back and watch it.
I love how like you're never a hard no.
Yeah, no, no, I'm a hard no on this
And
one.
there's a lot of things in your life you should have been a hard no.
That's for damn sure. But this one, this is where I draw the line in the sand.
I have no judgment. No judgment. Yo, so we got Superman and Fantastic Four first steps coming up
Yep.
this summer, July 11th and I think July 25th. And for me, and I'm sure for you, I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's like Saturday morning cartoons, man. I got freaking X-Men on. I'm gonna watch Spider-Man, and maybe they're gonna replay some Batman the Animated Series, and then I'm gonna watch some reboot. I'm watching all of it,
The first computer animated cartoon. I'm watching.
bro. So the fact that there's so much hate going on, and Superman's marketing team needs to be given money. The way they're marketing this film, Chris, is brilliant.
Yeah.
They're using behind the scenes stuff and TikTok trends and them doing things behind the scenes, but as themselves, but as the character, that they're showing us the tone of the film without giving it away. But then we got some clips. We got a clip of Superman coming into Lex's office saying, "Where's the dog?"
I just saw that recently when I saw the F1 movie.
and flipping the table over. And the fans hate a lot of fans hate it. Snyder bots hate it.
Why?
They hate that he's getting angry over a dog.
Over his dog? People kill you for their dogs. Come on, man. That's his boy. You think I wouldn't do that? If my neighbor grabbed Roxy, I would go
Dude.
there. I would go there, guns blazing.
And you got to think, if Luther took his dog, it's probably to cut him open and
Yeah,
experiment.
come on, man. That reaction and the fact that he didn't freaking vaporize Lex Luthor shows his self
Yeah.
control.
Well, and we had a similar moment in Batman v Superman when Lex Luthor kidnapped, Superman's mother. His eyes lit up quickly, like I'm about to Homelander you in a second.
Right.
And both are valid. But it's funny when fans like to nitpick nuances in a film they haven't seen yet, and it's happening across the board. David Cornsweet, who plays Superman, just in an interview where you remember the interview scene with him and Lois that they showed us, where like
Yeah, the very first one. Yeah.
he's actually in this interview defending a scene to a movie that hasn't even come out yet because of everyone online, and he broke it down. And any Superman fan, I feel like should understand this without him breaking it down. But he's like, Superman is the ideals. It's the job. Clark Kent in the Daily Planet, that's the persona he puts on to be with other people. But what Lois was talking to the real Clark, the kid raised in Smallville. He's like, there's only 3 people that know the real him.
Right.
It's his parents and Lois. So
Right.
in that moment, you're watching like the real him, who still has all the ideals of Superman, but he's like real and etc. What you got to say? The Superman is too emotional. Always seen in the majority of the trailers, and his screaming and pain, screaming. I completely disagree with you. I completely disagree with you.
Little emo boy.
I completely disagree. I feel like in the scene with Lois, James Gunn is expertly showing you there is a third identity here. The boy from Kansas, the real guy. And David Cornsweet in the interview was like, you got a firefighter or a policeman who are on the job, and they're on the job, they're matter of fact, they're doing the job. But when they come home to their wife and their wife was like, how was your day? They don't have to be the badge.
Right.
That's what he's giving us. He wouldn't have been that way with anyone but Lois.
And you know what? It's funny. I was watching I was watching the Crisis trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
and then spoiler alert, somebody dies close to Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and Superman grabs their dead body and just screams.
He's an emotional person.
He
I
is.
etc. I'm sorry if this is you, but these Snyder bots think Superman's emotionless. I'm like, no, that was Zack Snyder's version.
Yeah. And
No,
even then he was when he killed Zod, didn't he scream out and
yeah,
like
he still wasn't like I don't like yeah, he still wasn't emotionless. Like
yeah,
Superman is very emotional. That's his problem. He leads with his heart too much, and that part of him can get manipulated. You
right.
know, and that's what Batman looks at him like. If I were you, I'd clean up the city in 2 seconds if I had your power. Because Batman is the stoic one. Batman is the quotation mark emotionless one, but we know the truth. Superman, like when I saw that scene with him, "Where's my dog?" Or there was another scene where Superman says, "Yeah, I mean, emotional."
Emotional
Matter of
depth.
fact, Henry Cavill was so emotional that he said to Lois, "No one stays good forever." He was having such a conflict of
Yes.
person that he didn't know if he was going to be good because his mother was taken and he might have to kill Batman. Like emotional.
Yep.
Um, they display it differently in the films, but when I'm watching Clark and this Lex, I'm looking at freaking. It's reminding me of Smallville. I'm getting that dynamic. And another thing, I'm coming at the Snyder bots real quick, Chris, because this is what
Okay.
this part is. Everybody wants to talk about how Snyder's brilliant, and they're mad about Cavill. Don't nobody talk about Jesse Eisenberg, right? And like there's things in the movies that nobody ever talks about,
Yeah.
and I want to know: there are moments in times Superman can have emotion, but for what I've seen, he seems like he gets triggered too easily.
I think I think we have to be careful with jumping to that conclusion because they're showing us peaks and highlights from the movie in the trailer. So I don't think
Mm-hmm.
the whole movie is gonna be him going on this emotional roller coaster. But I think they're showing him getting beat up. They're showing him at his worst. They're showing him, when he's at the pinnacle of his obstacles. So I think, etc. I think maybe you should reserve this until you've seen the entire thing. That's just my
Yeah, and like Superman flew a guy through walls who held Lois at gunpoint in the beginning of Batman v Superman.
yeah.
There's a million ways he could have de-escalated that situation without flying through walls. And I know he didn't kill the guy, but he didn't have to create that much damage.
Yeah, but you're gonna hit a stud eventually. You're not just gonna go through sheetrock. You're gonna hit a stud. And what
Well,
are
I
you
have
gonna
to
do?
imagine Superman used his body to like not let the
He flew
I
the kiss with him.
listen. I'm not defend. I'm just saying that Superman's always been emotional. Like and me and him were going, me and etc. went back and forth on this. Like in Superman 2, when he lost his powers and he stepped into the building diner and
Right.
got his butt whooped. At the end of the movie, he showed back up with powers and beat him up. He didn't beat him up, but he embarrassed him. It's like that's an emotional decision. Like
Yeah.
like you went back to get revenge,
Right.
and I'm not mad at that. Henry Cavill literally in the beginning, of Man of Steel, got beer thrown on him, and he destroys the guy's livelihood, his truck. But
Let's talk about that. This guy, if this guy made his business, he made his living with the back of his truck, like a lot of people do, like a lot of tradesmen and journeymen do. Henry Cavill just destroyed this guy's life.
yeah, and what he really could have did was pull his punch, knock him out, and it'll make it look like a guy just knocked you out. But
Right.
instead, you go and destroy this man's livelihood. Like that's an emotional decision.
The ends don't justify the means, man. That's it. It's
It's an
true.
emotional decision. This dude grabbed Zod, was punched him in the face, and was like, "You threatened my mother," and then flew him through freaking so many things that will need to be fixed.
Right. You just see the maintenance guy like,
Like why? And I'm not knocking him for that, but he's always been emotional. That's his thing. His heart's on his sleeve. And I think the point that James Gunn is trying to show us with these trailers is with Lois, she sees the real him. And with Lex, that Lex can get under his skin. Lex knows how to
oh,
rage bait him.
yeah, oh yeah,
Lex picked up his cup of coffee 2 seconds before Superman threw the desk because Lex was like going according to plan.
yeah.
you know? Lawrence, I just sent you something. Hunter Iggy's in the
I
house.
love Hunter Iggy.
Now, I said all that to say, Chris, along with Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal is coming under fire. Like people hate his casting for Reed Richards.
Why? They wanted John Krasinski. Is that what they were all hot?
They did, or they feel like he doesn't look or feel Reed Richards
He
enough.
does. He looks exactly like. He looks a
Listen,
fantastic.
we're at a time where the complaining about fictional characters is at a high.
How dare you argue these facts that I made up?
They're at a high. Okay, Hunter Iggy just sent me some posts. James Gunn's philosophy on comic book movies. I love superheroes. I also think they're the dumbest things that ever existed. Oh, I can't read all this, but I'm sure there's context to this. This was in 2022. This one's too blurry for me to see. I have to look at that later. But yeah, like people are upset about things that I think are like watch the movie first and then get pissed off if you don't like it. But
Right.
people it's just wild how many people hate something they haven't seen yet. And to me, Pedro Pascal, I don't know if he's a good or bad Reed Richards yet.
I know he's a good actor. He does
He's a
fantastic.
great actor. It
Everything he does.
is great.
And he's the kind of actor where he's not a Vin Diesel where he plays the same role in everything. You know,
Oh,
he,
he shifts.
he shifts. Look at him in Last of Us. Look at him in Mandalorian. Look at him in everything.
Dude, that Nick Cage movie, the art of being incredibly famous, whatever that was.
oh yeah, the weight, unbearable weight of something like
The
that.
unbearable weight. Yeah. Like he's great. So I'm just saying, like, give it a chance. Like this is like, and it's our community. Like it's us. They're making this stuff for us, and we're just so critical of
I don't
all of
know
it.
how you would do anything with that wouldn't bring the ire and the hatred. Like I think no, I think it's a toxic trait of our community. And I think no matter what, no matter even if I were to give you a frame by frame take on something, you would still people would still complain about it. They would still be like it would still have a problem. You still had to get this loud vocal obnoxious minority wiping the Cheetos dust off their fingers just to say like, this is not how it should be and blah blah blah.
See, I don't really have a problem with Pedro Pascal. It's just more where I'm getting fatigue of him because he literally seems to be like he's in everything.
Making that
I
money.
and you know what? I get that. I get that. Is seeing an actor in so many things could make it hard for you to suspend your disbelief. But I feel like Pedro Pascal is one of those actors that you will not see Joel from The Last of Us when you watch Fantastic Four.
Correct.
He's not going to be there.
Correct.
And for me, going into the Fantastic Four with Marvel's track record, I, an actor like Pedro Pascal makes me feel good about going in.
To have that caliber of actor, because you're right. Because when every Fantastic Four movie has been a disaster, fan Four Stick was.
Oh, now if John Krasinski was like on the if he was playing, I'd be down for that. He's a wonderful. I love him too.
Yeah, I'd be down for that too.
But he's not. He's not. We got Pedro Pascal. And as far as David Cornsweet playing Superman, he was getting hatred the second his name was announced because he wasn't Henry Cavill. And it's like Henry's not coming back.
This is not.
I would love a Man of Steel 2. Well, it's not happening.
Right.
They had a chance.
Just accept.
The DCEU had a chance,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't do what it needed to do.
I agree.
When I look at him, all I see is Mandalorian or the Prince of Game of
Oh,
Thrones
that was dope.
or the crazy stalker dude that was in.
But you see three very different characters, etc. Three very different characters.
Yeah, and I feel like Reed Richards. Like I can see like with a young James Bond, even a young Superman, you can kind of go like Christopher Reeve, unknown. But Reed Richards, a guy who's probably in his 50s at this point, there's a gravitas that needs to be there. You only get that with a seasoned actor.
Only with America's Zaddy.
He's zaddy, Chris. I mean,
Yes.
Listen, I'm not mad that Pedro Pascal's in everything when we bring him back Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom. like
Facts.
how can like
Facts.
how am I not going to see Iron Man and Tony
Right.
Stark? I'm not
Right.
worried about Pedro Pascal and Mandalorian. We barely see his face.
Right. Sure.
Hunter Iggy, the picture I sent you that you're reading is from 3 years ago, and people can change. I mean, from 3 years ago, he still made dope superhero movies. So, like, I don't know what the whole article said, but either way, James, listen, somebody can make the best pizza in the world and say pizza's disgusting. I'm like, that's your opinion, but you make great pizza.
Right.
I mean, you know,
That's true. That's true.
uh, you guys can understand and see the fatigue, kind of like people have fatigue of Dwayne Johnson. No, because Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham played the same character in every.
Correct. Correct. I think when you have someone with the caliber like Pedro Pascal, it's you're right. Dwayne Johnson, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham. Jason Statham's movies,
They're
you
the same movie.
movies. Live Wire, The Beekeeper. It's
Yes.
all the same. I can take put all his movies together, jumble them up, and spit it out, and you wouldn't lose any content.
No,
It would be-
and etc. Maybe this doesn't apply to you, but I feel like with Pedro Pascal and David Corn Sweat, fans are in a place where they want to complain about everything not getting their way.
Yeah.
And then they'll start picking at things they would have just let fly. Right? Is anyone really mad that Pedro Pascal is about to be Reed Richards in Fantastic Four? Is anyone really maybe the die-hard, extremely Fantastic Four fans who got Fantastic Four pajamas, who are living and breathing Fantastic Four from the beginning? Maybe they're the ones.
If you're that, I want to meet you.
But most of us didn't even think we was gonna get a Fantastic Four movie. We were trying to figure out when is this even happening.
Right.
So for me to see Pedro Pascal in it, I look at that as like, oh, they want to make sure they got Michael Jordan. They
Yeah.
want to make sure they got a guy that can hit that 3-pointer at the buzzer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Especially the track
Dwayne
record. They have
is
to.
their track record, and then his track record as an actor. Whereas Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson, they're kind of like that wonderful one-trick ponies, like that
Mhm.
Schwarzenegger. But like once we're kind of tired of that kind of thing, they're kind of done.
Right.
Which Pedro is just a good actor.
Yeah. I agree.
So we'll see. But I'm definitely seeing it, and I just like we should be excited.
I am.
We're getting a Superman movie, and then in 2 weeks a Fantastic Four movie. And both of these movies are leaning into that Silver Age comic bookiness.
Yeah.
They're not doing that thing of like, oh, we're gonna put them in black suits and make these characters super somber and serious because we got to play it real. Like, no, we're gonna see a live action cartoon.
And I think that's great. And I think Marvel's done a good job of really embracing that. I think ever since even with Deadpool and like they're really taking the stuff from the comics and putting it very literally onto the screen, and they're seeing that it's working. They don't have to like darken everything up. They don't have to tone down some of these. They can do it for as the source content dictates, and it works on screen. And I'm
Yes,
digging it because
like
real quick, my biggest problem with the Nolan was always it didn't have that comic booky feel. And I get it. Okay, we're grounded, we're real, but when you're watching a comic book movie, you gotta kind of it's fantasy. It's still fantasy. I don't care how much you want to ground it. It's still fantasy. And when you try to make it too grounded, you almost you damage some of that and you lose some of that. And
yeah,
I think it doesn't bode well for the content.
yeah. That's why I love the Nolan trilogy. I like Man of Steel as its own take. I don't want you to build a universe off of those versions. Like that's their own thing. They sit right there. But if we're gonna build a universe, give me a Superman with a crypto. Give me a Fantastic Four with a fantastic jet that do dinners at home and they do put on their bright blue suits with the four in the middle. Like don't give me the serious. Give me the realistic serious version as this is your trilogy. This is your take. But don't base your whole universe off of that.
Yeah.
That was the issue. I'm sorry, that's the issue with Snyder. We were building a universe off of a Batman that murders, a Superman who's sad, and a Wonder Woman who just shows up in Batman v Superman for reasons.
Yep.
Lawrence, James Gunn Superman movie is like a Superman animated series about and honestly,
Bad thing.
I would say that means it's like a comic book. People keep saying it's like the animated series, and I say you're right because it's like the
But
comic.
is that a derogatory thing? No, it's fantastic.
No, Chris, look, come here. Let me see something.
Let me see.
Like, what can I show you here? Like, there, it's epic.
Yes,
It's
man.
big.
Yes.
It's science fiction. You know, it's all things. And yes, Supergirl's walking with crypto around the fortress. You know, it's yeah, man. So I'm happy that we have that, and I want the fans to like just don't do what they did to Ironheart. So let's talk about Ironheart real quick, and we'll get out of here.
All right.
Like literally, the numbers came out. It's the number one streaming show right now on Disney Plus, and it's new. So people can say, "Well, it's brand new," but like people still had to show up to look at it
Right.
because my son watches reruns of Spidey all the time.
All
So it doesn't have to be number one just because it's new. um, but it got review bombed in
Yeah.
48 hours. The rating was brought down to a 4 on IMDb. That means people probably didn't even watch it
No.
because it's just 3 hours of content. We all have lives and jobs, and in 2 days, people ran to IMDb and review bombed it, as well as Rotten Tomatoes. And to me, that's crazy when
Some of these people said.
they want it to fail so bad. And I watched the first 2.5 episodes. You watched the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
There's only 3 out right now, and I like it. I like it.
I like it too. And you know what? Here's the thing. And the Marvels,
I like
the
the
Marvels, the Marvels was a good time. The Marvels wasn't the best movie, but it was a good time. But
the
anytime
the
you,
Marvels to me was. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
yeah,
the Marvels to me was a 12-year-old girl who loves Disney princesses can go see this film and find something they can enjoy in the MCU. That's what the Marvels was to me. It's like, like they're checking all the boxes with all their potential fans. It can't just be the 40-year-old grown men who they cater all their content to.
right.
Um,
I just think anytime you have a not white male lead, or anytime they make any kind of switch, it's the review bomb. The people come in and they're like, they just lose their mind for
they,
these.
they're calling her a wannabe Tony Stark as if she's not, as if they made her for the MCU. Like she's not like a comic book character. Like she's not currently in comics and had a
Right.
whole run in comics. Somebody actually said they're doing the race swap thing, and I'm like, no, they didn't make Tony Stark a black woman. Tony Stark still exists in this universe and died heroically. It's just sad, bro, and that's when I'm like, yo, like maybe we don't deserve this stuff no more. Maybe, and I'm not saying it's everything is good, but to be so critical about everything before it even comes out, because people were hating this before it even drops,
I
right?
mean, this is the it's just this is the toxicity in her community. I'm telling you, I'm looking, I'm pulling up the review bombs, and I'm trying to look and see what people said about it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, I think down is that now audience is down to 50%, but critics give it an 87%. And whenever you see like, okay, sometimes the critics
They can overlove something too.
yes, but usually when you see such a big discrepancy,
The truth is in the middle.
yeah.
Now, read one of those,
I'm looking right now. Give me 1 second.
and I'll tell you my thoughts on it so far. I want to hear yours, and then we can get out of here.
Where my reviews at?
Because that's that thing, man. I'm like, maybe because we're '80s babies and we know what it's like to not have all this stuff, and maybe the younger generation, maybe Gen Z, just They don't know a time where there wasn't superhero movies or TV series that they're like, oh, who cares about this crap? And I'm like, yo, this can all go away.
Yeah.
This can all go away. I don't want it to, but I'm sometimes I be feeling like maybe it needs to because y'all don't deserve it.
Yeah, just take it away just for a little bit, just so you know what you have.
I mean, come on.
Where are the reviews on here? I can't see the reviews.
But well, anyway, we'll tell them our thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, I like it. My biggest issue, I'll tell you my biggest issue, and then I'll tell you my what I love, and maybe I'll do a deeper dive in a separate review. My biggest issue is I don't like it when the MCU feels like they establish a character in a movie. They did it with Captain America or Sam Wilson, and then for this series, almost have to like go backwards to go forward.
Yeah.
She made the Ironheart suit already. She was in Wakanda working with tech, and it felt like we had to strip her of that so she can go back to having nothing and no resources to watch her build herself up. And I feel like I don't like that going backwards to go forward. I was so confused. I'm like, so you were in Wakanda, you made the thing,
Right.
then you went and you had the Tony Stark grant or whatever,
Right. And then they
and
pull
you
the
still didn't have enough resources to build the suit, but you built the suit.
right.
But I guess it wasn't perfected yet. But it looked like you were doing it, and then you made another one using parts of the old suit. Yeah, it felt convoluted just to get her back
Back
to
to
the
back to where she started. Back to
felt
Chicago.
very convoluted.
Yeah. I agree with you too. I think if you're expecting me to watch especially this series, you have to expect that I've seen the background to it, right?
We watched Wakanda. Who didn't watch Wakanda Forever?
Right. But this is a character that this is not a character like a Spider-Man or this. She's not a lister, right? She's not an A-list character. So if I'm gonna watch this, I'm obviously gonna have the background to watch this. So I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you 100%. Like, and you're right. Like, she was in Wakanda. She studied with the world's greatest scientists. She did this. So you can have her pick up and you can bring her back to where she started, back to her home, without having her lose everything and start over again. And
Yeah, it felt unnecessary, and I understand why. Maybe that's a huge part of her in the comics is she's the Tony Stark who had nothing.
yeah,
Maybe I don't read I haven't read her comics, but then to me it's like, well, then Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever did her disservice because
well,
I almost need her showing up in Ironheart wealthy now,
this is what. Well, I don't need her to be wealthy, but I need her to hit the ground running.
but she's figured it out.
Yeah. So I mean,
She's made the thing
she's been in battle with the suit, full blown battle already. So what the
right,
heck are we doing?
and now her suit malfunctions because she lost her student
And why?
ID.
Why? If she has Wakanda technology, why is she using the AI from the college?
Well, and that's where it gets cloudy. It's like they never really explained why she stopped building in Wakanda, why her relationship with them, and maybe it'll come up. So that was, and also a big issue I had was just the convenience of it all. And I understand that shows will do that so we can get to the point. But like, she needed parts. Well, this junkyard has everything you need that's right across the street.
So
And
and
then she's like, I need help. Someone can help me. Well, here's the address to someone who can help you with everything you'll ever need, and he's only a mile away. I'm like, okay.
and it was a regular junkyard. It wasn't even like
It wasn't like NASA's spare parts for.
or I would have been okay if it was like the Spider-Man junkyard where they're taking apart like alien tech or something like that.
Yeah.
And where
This is a regular junkyard in the hood.
I don't need a distributor for an 89 Integra. I'm building a freaking spacesuit, a freaking,
Yeah.
you know.
The convenience. And also, like, and yeah, it was way too convenient for her to find what she needed, and it happened so quick. But I understand that's how they get the plot moving. What I loved about it, this is what I love about it. First of all, I love Riri Williams.
Yeah,
I love the character of her. I love that she is brilliant. But the Ironheart comics flop badly, and they're done multiple reboots expecting different results, but just they all flop. This was a series that nobody was really requesting. Nobody was requesting Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, it's true.
Nobody was requesting Ant-Man. Nobody was requesting most of the
I
MCU until it
think
popped off.
yeah, I think we're running. I think they're looking at different angles to tell different stories. I think we just talked about, and you too. We just talked about the fatigue. So how we're gonna get over the fatigue is tell different types of stories.
Yeah.
And I like seeing like major Marvel events and major Marvel things from different perspectives. I don't necessarily need to see it from every Avengers perspective, but to see someone
Mm.
who's smaller, who's scrappy, who's trying to make their way through,
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's cool.
And I got to check this out. I don't know if it's true. I don't think her comic flopped. I think they just ended their series because she's still around. I think they finished their run, just like Invincible finished his run, just like the boys finished their run. Maybe it flopped out, but I do know they finished. They got to finish their series. I mean, whether it flopped or not, to me, that's not relevant because maybe it's been a long time, but Iron Man was a C-list hero when it comes to the overall general public.
Yeah,
No one knew if you were to ask someone randomly on the streets back in the 90s what's Iron Man's real name, they couldn't tell you. Same thing with Captain America a little bit. Thor, the guy with the hammer, right? Those weren't A-list heroes until the MCU made it because Marvel licensed out all their A-list heroes to
that's true.
Fox and Sony. They couldn't do X-Men or Spider-Man or Fantastic Four. So Ironheart and Riri Williams is doing what Marvel does best. Guardians of the Galaxy, like the Doctor Strange isn't some A-list
No, he's
known
not.
hero.
Yeah,
So it's almost like let them do what they do. Like y'all forgot that the entire MCU is made up of the superheroes that sat on the bench while Spider-Man got to play.
yeah, true. And
Um
I like it. I like. We talk about fatigue. You want to battle fatigue. This is how we battle fatigue. We get different
yeah.
stories from different points of view, and then give it a shot. That's
And
it. Just keep it open mind. If you don't like it legitimately, cool.
cool. They want something that can really blow the charts off. They should have done a John Green Lantern. They should do a Static Shock
Yes,
show.
they should.
Well, that's DC. And if you're talking about black characters, yeah, that would be great. That'd be great. But I don't see why Riri. That means I don't see why it has to be them or Riri
Yeah, you
Williams.
can do both. There's room for both. Room for
Both can happen. And I think her situation is very unique as a brain, as someone who's intelligent and intellectual, yet doesn't have the resources.
she's a genius who happens to be black, not a black genius, and I think that's the difference, and that leaves legitimacy to who she is. And I think they didn't just put her because she's black. She's a genius that happens to be black, and there's a
Right.
big difference.
And inspired by the likes of Tony Stark, but doesn't
Right,
have the resources.
right.
Um, what I love about the show the most is the heart.
It's
When she made her a when she made when she accidentally made the AI, but it was in the likeness of her best friend who died.
yes, who passed away? Because
Dude, that hits me in the feels every time they're on screen together. I don't know why.
yeah,
And I guess with our relationship to AI, and we know like it's a little fantastical, but it's not that far. That and just seeing her look at her and oh, that hits me in the feels. Or they should do a Steel movie so we can get Johnny Irons. I get you, yeah,
um, I
but that's all DC. And
Shaq Steel.
well, no, no, Shaq.
Those toys
And
were dope.
the toys, not the movie.
Well,
Oh God. So we can get to see John Hines and how he came to be during. And I got to tell you, etc. Death of Superman story arc is mad overrated. It's overrated. That's not relevant to this conversation. But you're mentioning all DC characters, and I don't see why. I love that you have this. It's
right.
a terrible movie with some really cool action. That happens all the time. Terrible movie, cool action
Look
figures.
how cool this is. Like you can take his armor on and off.
No, I love that. That's not my. I love those. I love the quick change joints. That's my
Yeah.
jam. That's my jam. But we can have a John Henry Irons. and a Riri Williams. And honestly, what's the biggest difference? A Riri Williams who is inspired by Iron Man and becomes Ironheart. And then you got John Henry Irons,
Who's
inspired
inspired
by
by
Superman,
Superman.
and makes a suit with the Superman logo on it and flies around Metropolis. Like
He's a man, though. That's the difference.
that's what it's starting to feel like. Cause
Yeah.
Static Shock, dude, dude, John Stewart, a guy who's like the Green Lantern. We all like. I don't see why Riri Williams is so different
I don't
than a
know.
Miles Morales, than a John Henry Irons, than a John Stewart. They're all kind of offshoots of something that was original, but they're their own characters, but they're connected to a larger canon. I don't see what the biggest difference is. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Now, if you like, I say this about everything. If you legitimately watched it and you don't like it,
I can respect that.
cool, cool. But etc. I'm sorry that whole we didn't ask for this. Who asked for freaking WandaVision? We didn't even know to ask for WandaVision.
Right.
We didn't know to ask for Loki.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Like my personal sense of the difference is that the characters I just named have much bigger cult following and outreach of what the fan base wants to see over Ironheart. Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
that's true. But like I said, they have $1 billion franchise called Guardians of the Galaxy, and no one asked for Guardians of the Galaxy. No one did. And honestly, without Guardians of the Galaxy, the MCU doesn't make sense. Because that's what really fleshed out the Thanos part of the story with the
Yeah.
Infinity Stones.
You know, I think that
And it's a TV series. So it's not like they launched a $200 million Ironheart movie.
yeah.
This is their Disney Plus series.
You know what though? I think we've spoken about this on here and other podcasts too. Is like when you have a character that's not as well known, you have a lot more liberty to do stuff and make changes because you don't have that same catalog you're pulling from. So
Mhm.
they can come in and do things that may not be 100% accurate, but they can still do it and have people like it and not get grilled for it. So it gives you a little bit more creative flexibility, especially with a rabid fan base.
Yeah. And I don't disagree. Uh Personally, I was never asking for WandaVision or Loki or Moon Knight or some of the other flop TV shows. But WandaVision, Loki, and Moon Knight, they weren't flops.
I like them
Some
all.
some were flops, some weren't flops. So I think the point is like Marvel to me, even with their missteps, have gained enough good faith for me to at least check it out before I have a strong opinion.
True.
They've done something that no one else has ever been able to do. Take a collection of characters in movies and have it all come together in something called Infinity War and Endgame. Like that has never happened before, and it will never happen again, ever in life. So if they come out with a Moon Knight, I'm gonna check it out. If they come out with an Ironheart, I'm gonna check it out. And I'll
Shot,
tell you if I don't like it. I checked out She-Hulk. Wasn't my cup of tea. But
except for Madison.
oh, she was great.
Yeah.
Wongers. Oh, never apologize for misspelling, sir. We misspell all the time.
I wouldn't care about that.
So that my point is this: we're getting to the point, and Chris, we're gonna get off here because we both have comics to read and
We do.
kids to take care of.
F1
Comics to
to
read.
watch.
F1 racing to watch, but we're at a point in time where we're starting to trash things before they even come out,
Yep.
and that's crazy to me.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. Like I'm watching, I see people comment on Reddit about David Cornsweat's Superman suit. And they're like, it looks so much better on screen, like it fits him so tightly. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
it went through post production. That was always gonna happen. Tom Holland's whole Spider-Man suit was mostly CGI. They fixed that up in post so it looks seamless. Like that was gonna happen. Like, don't let the behind the scenes stolen pictures make you think, you
that's how
know.
it be. Yep.
Sadly enough, the same can't be said for Star Wars. I look at it and it's dead as a doornail. I don't got skin in the game of Star Wars, so I don't even know.
I haven't watched Andor yet. That's the most recent content.
Andor is the one that people love.
Yeah.
I had a hard time. I'm not a Star Wars guy though, but I heard Andor is the one they love. I like Mandalorian.
Mandalorian movie's coming out.
It's a movie.
That's what they're saying. They're gonna make a movie.
Pedro.
Yep. Yep.
Hey man, let that man cook, y'all. Let that man. He hasn't done a bad performance to save his life.
Yep.
So yes, if we can tell anyone who comes across this video, Chris, let's just beg them. Just give stuff a chance.
To give it a chance. If you legitimately like it, it's fine. But watch it before you bomb it.
Yes. Just give it a chance. Y'all loved Man of Steel and loved Zack Snyder. Then he said, I'm gonna have Ben Affleck play Batman. You're a hack, you know nothing. You was just on his jock.
Right.
And then you hate his decision, and then you watch it, and you're like, whoa, he was the best part of the whole thing. And it's like, just give it a chance. Christopher Nolan's brilliant. He makes brilliant movies. I'm gonna cast Heath Ledger as Joker. You're an idiot.
Right.
And then we all watch it, and we're like, oh my God, that's the best performance in a comic movie ever. Just give it a chance.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. And every now and then, y'all will be right to be skeptical.
Right.
But still give it a chance. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish watching Ironheart. I'm gonna go watch the rest of. I'm gonna start watching Squid Games.
Okay.
Apparently, it's over.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna finish watching Severance.
Okay. I'm gonna go watch F1 and then 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, with the lady.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Andor season 1 is okay, but season 2 flops. And the Book of Boba. I did. Chris is the only one I know in the world. You're the only one I know in the world that love the Book of Boba Fett.
Yep. I loved it.
We had debates on like, why is this? Especially with the Power Ranger motorcycle. Hey, first of all, you're talking to two people here. Listen. Don't be coming at. That's a bad example.
Yep.
You tell me it's like Power Rangers, I'm gonna think it's dope.
Yep.
And should we even bring up the Acolyte? I didn't hate the Acolyte, but I will say I don't know enough about Star Wars lore to be upset about the Acolyte.
I gotta talk to my other cousin. He's a big
Chris. Who the hell is this other cousin?
His other cousin.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like it. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah,
anyway, we'll talk about this once we're done. That's our show, y'all, etc. Thank you so much for entertaining and debating us, going back and forth. Hunter Iggy, thank you for jumping on and sending us these links. I'm going to read that article, talk about it next week. Chris, you'll probably be out in Mexico. I'll hold it down.
Yep.
And that's our show. Went out a little long, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Standing on these soapboxes takes a while to get down.
It does.
Anyway, we'll be back. Same bad time.
Same bad channel.
Peace.